He hasn't been well for the last couple of years, and he's been getting progressively worse. And
when you say very ill, is his life threatened? I need to know.
Well, he's ill. I mean...
Let's just say I'm ill.
I know that belt better than you know that belt.
You want to feel it again?
No, I don't.
You know, there's going to be nothing left in the business for you, even though you stay in it. You're cut off. You know that, don't you?
Oh, come on.
No.
Stop
Wait a minute.
that.
I didn't know whether you told him or not.
A crisis can occur at any time in every family. Sometimes an outsider is needed who offers objectivity and direction through counseling. This television program recreates counseling sessions with actors portraying family members. They are guided by a licensed social worker as the crisis counselor, Thom Thompson.
When children grow up, they can have bad memories about their childhood, and real or imagined, these feelings have actually caused many children to ignore their parents or even formally to disown them. Parents usually don't understand these feelings, and sometimes brothers and sisters don't either. Such was the case with Glen Pryor. He achieved the first step towards reuniting his sister with their parents by getting all concerned to meet in my office.
I didn't agree to come. It's because of her constant nagging.
Vern, come on. You said you'd come and we'd talk it over.
Shut up.
Well, help me to understand why we're here.
Tell me.
My sister...
It was your idea.
Yeah, my sister has not seen Mom or Dad since, well, it's been 13 years now.
Thank God.
And I was kind of hoping that we could have some kind of a reconciliation here.
Have you also been separated from your parents?
Well, I've been home for the last year or so and been helping run the business.
Oh, you sure have.
He's been doing a good job.
Good job of putting it right down the drain.
Yeah, Dad owns a bakery, and I've been taking over for him for the last
Sure
year.
has.
He's,
But was it with your agreement that your son came back into
Wouldn't
the
have made any
business?
difference.
But did you agree to that, or did you want him to come back in?
No.
He's not well, and he was not able to stay many hours at the bakery, and I called Glen. Mr. Pryor was very unhappy about that, but I needed help. I couldn't do it myself. And Glen came back, and he's been helping to run the business.
And that was after a number of years of being...
yeah, it's
That's
been
what
about 5 or
told-
6 years since I've been home, and
You
so I
told me
decided
over
to
the
go back.
phone, and it's the only thing that I remember, that you hadn't really been in contact with your parents at all during that time?
Well,
Only when he needs something, that's when he's back.
Mr. Pryor, I've heard what you've said, and I respect you for your beliefs and for what you want to put across to me, but do you see anything at all good that can come out of this meeting today? What is the meeting
as I told
for?
you, I think it's a waste of time.
If it weren't a waste of time, what would we be able
What are
to
we waiting
accomplish?
for? Kim, she may show up, she may not show up.
Vern, please.
And if she did show up, what would you want out of her?
Nothing.
And anything
To leave
at all?
again.
Mr. Thompson, I mean, they haven't seen each other for 13 years. I mean, Kim got married very young and moved away from the house.
Did
for
they
much the same reason.
separate
She
under...
left her husband just like she left her family.
Dad, would you please let me tell him this? For much the same reasons I did, because there was a lot of arguing and bickering going on back and forth, and she just couldn't deal with it anymore. And she saw an opportunity to get married and get away from it. And I thought that this might be an opportunity for the two of them to have a reconciliation. I mean, we didn't have the greatest family life in the world, but Kim and I were close, and there's no reason why now at this stage in our lives we couldn't, you know, come to some kind of agreement.
It's time.
Kimmy was always kind of, you know, she was real emotional as a kid, and she kind of relied on me a lot.
As a kid. She's always been emotional. She never knew what she wanted. You know that.
You're emotional.
You know
I'm
that.
emotional. Why shouldn't she be emotional?
What do you want out of this meeting, Mrs.
I
Pryor?
want the family to get together. It's time. You can see how emotional he is. I'm very emotional, too. I pick up on this from him, I know. And
Well,
then instead of talking, we would yell. We would yell.
I don't just pick up that you're emotional, Mr. Pryor. I pick up that you're very deeply angry about something. Is it anything that you can share with me to help me understand?
I don't think so.
Oh, try, Vern, please.
But other people will be speaking for you if you don't speak for yourself.
Let them speak, then. It's all a bunch of lies anyway. Right?
You see? Try to get anywhere with him and it doesn't work. Try to touch him anywhere, it doesn't work. Well,
I hesitate to ask this question, but how do you feel about Kim coming today? Do you want her to come?
Absolutely not.
yes.
Let her stay away. She ran out before. She can stay out now.
You do feel that she ran out?
Yes.
She should have stayed? And if she had stayed, what then?
I don't know. Maybe I'd have put her out.
Come in. Kim?
Yeah.
I'm Thom Thompson.
Hi.
How are you? Come right in.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, have a seat.
Thank you.
He's a difficult man to deal with. I mean, he's a difficult man to deal with, and it was hard for us as kids to be able to approach him on a father, you know, a father-son level.
Your sister is
Yes,
really
you
reacting.
How to approach anybody.
What are you
went to Mom.
talking about?
Well, maybe I'd better hear from you. What?
Yeah, maybe you better. I mean, maybe you better just know what they did to us when we were little.
Kim,
Oh, don't come on.
It wasn't that
Wasn't that bad?
loud.
If you,
Here
James,
go the lies again.
there are no lies.
Come on, come on.
I know that belt better than you know that belt.
You want to feel it again?
No, I don't.
Everybody got
No,
spanked when they were kids.
Everybody did not get beaten as a kid. Everybody did not get locked in the
Well,
house
come
as
on,
a
I
kid.
think you-
Everybody did not
I
get
think you're
left for a week
exaggerating
at a
it, Timmy.
time.
Come on, when did we ever get left for a week at a time?
We did so get left for a
I
week at a
mean-
time, a whole week. They left us when we were, he was 10 years old.
You're
I
looking
was
at
7
a
years
child who
old.
was 7 years old. I mean, you're talking
7-year-old children have very potent memories of
Oh,
what
but
happens
she's
to them.
exaggerating. I was there.
They were both drunk. I mean, when they came home, they were
Oh.
just drunk.
That is not so.
They partied just
Oh.
like most
Listen,
people.
don't speak about drunk. What about the guy you
14 hours
married?
a day. My place was next to him. My place was next to him. This was good for my son. He was soft. He was
drinking?
always
Good?
soft.
I had a lot of responsibility put on me
Right.
at a very young age, but I handled it pretty well.
Absolutely.
And Kimmy and I had to deal with those
Do you know,
kinds of things.
sometimes I'm feeling that I'm hearing things from the person who can make accusations, and I turn to the accused to ask them to deal with the reality. What was it like between you and your children?
Come on, come up with something.
Well, it's what life is. It's trying to make a living. It's trying to be a mother. It's trying to be a father.
Oh, yeah, that's
it's
right. I
trying
mean,
to.
we all have to deal. I mean, as a grown-up, I understand now the kind of pressures that they had to deal with.
They drank a lot, both of them. And every once in a while, he'd sort of get,
They never
You
drank
know.
more.
Wait a minute. Let her tell her story.
Come on, Pop.
Come on, let her tell her
They
fairy
never
tale.
drank more than most people do.
they were
I
drunk.
mean, I drink. I go out
Wait a
on
minute.
weekends and
She
have
says they were
parties.
drunk most of the time, and you
Oh,
say
that's an
that they
exaggeration.
weren't.
They worked hard. When they came home, he'd have a few drinks.
A few drinks?
We needed a release.
A fifth of scotch is a few drinks?
Oh, never that, Kim.
Kimmy.
I used to clean it up. Don't tell me how much it was.
Oh, come
I used to
on,
do the grocery
Kimmy.
shopping. Don't tell me.
Isolated.
Wait a
And you
minute,
started
wait a
to
minute,
talk
wait
to
a
me,
minute.
to
Why have
answer
you
the
become
question.
such a martyr all of a sudden? Because of the business? You know, there's going to be nothing left in the business for you, even though you stay in it. You're cut off. You know that, don't you?
Oh, come on.
No.
Stop
Wait a minute.
that.
I didn't know whether you told him or not.
It's not so.
Yes, it is so.
Pop, who's going to run this business if you...
You're running it? Running right into the ground.
Yes,
You know
yes,
I'm
he
running
is.
it.
Into the ground.
No.
Yes, I know.
Oh, Vernon, you're never there anymore.
I know.
How do
I've
you
been in to
know?
look at the books in weeks.
Finish your
Usual
story.
negative
Finish your
approach to
story.
everything.
Glenn, why did you return home? I'm not forgetting what you were trying to tell me, Kim, but I noticed you were having
It's
difficulty.
all right, it's all right.
Why did you return home?
About a year ago, Mom called. And she asked me to come back and help Dad in the business because he wasn't able to handle it by himself anymore. He'd been ill for a while, and she thought that maybe I could help. And I felt an obligation to come back and help him out.
What are we dealing with?
Well, he's
We won't
not...
take that subject up.
He's very ill.
He hasn't been well for the last couple of years, and he's been getting progressively worse. And
When you say very ill, is his life threatened? I need to know.
well, he's ill. I mean,
Let's just say I'm ill.
Yeah.
His life is threatened.
he's got cancer. He's dying.
Yeah.
Don't you understand?
And what do you get?
Oh, no.
Well, nothing.
Well, Pop, come on now.
Don't.
Well, somebody
Shut up.
run the business when you're gone.
Have you talked about that?
Well,
Talk
Mom
about
and I
what?
talked
About who runs the business? Somebody
Mom and I have
will have to do that, won't they?
Of course. I mean, it's generally agreed upon.
Mama's
I'm
talked
running the
about it?
business now.
When was this?
Well, Glen and I are in
You're
the
gonna run
office.
the
We have to look ahead.
Look ahead for what?
Look ahead for what's going to happen.
I see the light now.
For crying out loud.
So perfectly
Kimmy.
clear. So perfectly clear.
But surely you want to
M-O-N-Y.
make some
Like I
kind
said,
of plans about that yourself, don't you, Mr. Pryor?
not making any plans.
Who is going to run the business when you're
I'm
gone?
running it.
Who's going to run
I'm running it.
But who's going to run it when you're gone?
Wait a
Come
minute.
on.
Wait
you
a
want the
minute.
business, you just go to somebody
Wait a minute,
else for
Glen.
crying out
It might
loud.
as well now.
I want you to answer me a question. Why did you ask for this meeting?
Because I wanted you and Dad to have a
No,
reconciliation.
no, no, no.
I
No,
wanted us
no,
to feel like
no,
a family.
come on.
Come on, I haven't seen you in a long time. Mom
Glen,
hasn't seen you in 13 years.
I want you to tell me the truth.
That's hard
Why
to
did
do.
you ask for this meeting?
Answer it.
Jeez.
Kim,
Come
what
on,
is...
Kimmy, for crying out loud.
You lousy.
I mean, 13
Wait,
years.
don't draw a
We've got
strong
it coming to us.
conclusion about that.
We've got it
Glen,
coming
you're
to us, don't we?
What am I suggesting? Do you know why we're here? Do you know why I'm here?
Kimmy.
Because he wants your lousy business. Well, I wouldn't have a dime of your
Wait, you
business.
can't draw that conclusion.
Why can't I draw that conclusion?
Well, you can, but don't do it quickly.
Why?
I don't know why, but I just think that jumping to a conclusion like that may be something that you won't feel comfortable about hours later or a day later.
Now
You want
think
to
of-
prove me wrong?
No, I don't. I don't have a stake in that. But I do have a stake in wondering whether there's going to be any kind of moment of reconciliation for this family if, in fact, it is true that you are dying. I'm still
I won't
wondering about
accept that.
your point of view.
I won't accept it.
You won't accept
I
what?
won't accept it.
That you're dying?
I'm running the business now. Run it. Run it.
You're
Run it.
dying, man!
Don't say that anymore.
You're dying! Go ahead and hit me!
You stop it. Would you stop it?
Is there any kind of compromise from your point of view that's possible?
To what?
I don't know.
I mean,
If your father opened the door this much, would you put a finger, a toe in it to test the waters? Is there any possibility?
I don't know. I feel very betrayed right now.
say
I feel very, very, very betrayed.
Don't say
I feel as
no.
though
And I did not know what was going to happen in this meeting. Please understand.
I know, but I really do. I mean, I really feel used, you know? I feel like my whole life I've just been used by this lousy family. For 13 years I've been away
Kimmy.
from them, and now all of a sudden I'm right back in the middle of it. You know something, Glen? You're a lot worse than they ever were. I mean, at least I could count on being hit once a day by
don't
each
lose the
one of them.
relationship that
Kimmy!
you had with Glenn, that you said at one point was the only positive thing.
He lied to me.
I
and
did
he
not. I
used
never lied to you. When did I lie to you?
You lied to me about why I'm here, Glen.
I didn't lie to you about why you're here.
Why am I
You're
here,
here.
Glen?
You're here because this is the last chance.
Yeah, for you to get his business.
Oh, come on, Kimmy.
That's out of the question.
That's a
So we
truth.
wasted his
Happen
time.
anyway. Doesn't have anything to do with you.
It sure does.
I wanted us to be a family again.
The
No,
business aside, whether he gets the business or not, do you want to go? The door is closed, he says. But if it opened, Anything?
Come on, this is only a first meeting. I mean, you know what he's like.
And I'm not asking you to commit yourself to anything. I'm wondering, are there possibilities, or have you made a decision in your life that your door is closed?
I really think my door is closed.
Come on, Kimmy.
It's been closed a long time.
Oh, Pop.
And so's your door. Remember that.
Mr. Pryor, I wish I had a chance to talk with you alone sometime, when you're not having to make your statements for their consumption. I'd like to know what you really feel, and I don't think I know, and that bothers me tremendously.
I've told you everything.
No, you haven't. I hope I get a chance to talk to you. That's all I can say.
Discuss it later.
That's enough.
Does
That's
that mean
enough.
that you're willing to see him again?
Wait, don't press him. Don't press him, because I'm not going to. But I want to be a friend to your father. I want him to teach me something, in fact, about something that I'm going to have to go through someday. Because only he knows right now. And I think we ought to end this session right now and not make a decision about we do or we don't ever talk to each other or see each other again. Let me try to do what I can do with your father. Don't say things have to happen right now. In fact, could I ask all of you to leave and let me talk with your father for a little bit if he's willing? Please wait in the waiting room for a few moments, would you?
I'll go, Glenn. Just leave me alone.
Mr. Pryor, I don't ever remember being on the spot as much as I am right now. I wish I had some special powers, some place I could go to draw on whatever I'd need to draw on to reach you.
Well, there's not much to reach.
I don't believe that.
No.
There's a man with feelings in there, and with sorrows, and with fear, and with anger, and everything that any man has.
You don't understand the true circumstances.
Tell me, help me understand.
Didn't they tell you?
No, I don't think I heard it from them, the way I'd hear it from you.
You heard it from them.
But how would you tell the story?
They want everything and not give. I gave all my life. I started the bakery, the chain. Now he wants to come back and take everything.
Did they ever understand your giving?
I think they did. Probably they didn't want to admit it, but I think they did.
What about now?
Now.
I want to
There's
ask you
nothing now.
I want to ask you, do you need anything from them? Don't answer that yet.
Do I need anything from them?
Wait, think about it.
No.
But wait, I want you to pause. I want you to stop and think.
There's nothing to think about.
Then feel.
There's nothing to feel about. She made it perfectly clear. She left home. She got married. She couldn't keep her marriage. She's back home. You know, it's like a revolving door.
I'm not suggesting that there be some warm embrace type of relationship between you and
There
your
never
daughter.
will be.
I know there won't. I understand that.
You do. I hope you.
Think so.
She came back.
But they're not in here now. You don't have to.
But I know in my heart what they're after. The mother can't see it.
Okay,
She could never see
but
anything.
I'm not talking about what they're after. What are you going to want to be after in the months that are coming? Mr. Pryor,
Whatever months there are left, I don't know.
are you dying? Are you dying? Tell me. Tell me.
Yes.
What does a person do when they enter adulthood after a childhood marked by unloving parents who provided abuse and neglect instead of love and caring? Patients come to my office full of pain and confusion about their feelings toward their parents. These people are caught in a love-hate relationship, believing that it's wrong to feel less than unquestioning love for their parents. They even often feel tremendous guilt, knowing that they do have feelings bordering on hatred for those parents. Sometimes these children even disown their parents, or at least want to do so. To these people and to you, I offer these thoughts to consider. Remember that as adults, we can choose how often we will see our parents and how deeply we want to relate to them. And we must also keep in mind that how we feel about our parents may change as we mature. Because by the time we reach middle age, we may understand our parents better. Finally, we can allow ourselves to accept that it is normal to be angry with our parents and to express it, and to accept the fact that they are human and imperfect, just like us. We can forgive our parents for not being perfect, if we can only remember how often they've had to forgive us. I'm glad, by the way, that I met with Mr. Pryor alone. I think it allowed him to admit his needs, even if only a little. Sometimes in front of other family members, we're actually forced to take a position we don't want to hold at all. The Pryor family, your family, and mine, I think, can use forgiveness and new understanding to build towards the love and health and growth that should exist in our families. I'm Thom Thompson.